I have a very short two-word question. Why puppets?
Whoa, that's a huge question. And it's the question that I used to hate being asked by journalists when I didn't really know how to answer it. But it's a very good question. And really, it goes to what it does is it says, what are puppets about? What's different about puppets? And I think that there are many things that are different about puppets. One of the things that is different is that they can offer the being of an animal on the stage, on the theatrical stage, in a way that no other medium can do. And I think that in the history of theater, animals have been we've been very anthropocentric in our theater. We do represent animals to some degree, but we've never really represented animals as fully fledged beings in themselves. And I think that that's through Warhorse, through Tall Horse in a minor way, and through the Chimp Project. Those were three projects that represented animals for the first time in a theatrical, not a film context, because of course that's been done in film. But to show animals as part of our lives in the theater is an offer that why puppets does answer. So that's one answer. And I'll maybe talk about one other, and that is that with a human puppet, as we said, it struggles to live all the time on stage. It can die at any moment. But when the human puppet reaches forward and picks something up, brings it to its lips, and drinks, and does that maybe, we live that again. We live how hard it is to do that sometimes for ourselves. Obviously, for older people, it's hard, but even for young people, there are lots of things that we do every day, simple little things that are actually hard to do. It can be just the gift of something to somebody. It's hard to give a gift. Sometimes clashing your glasses with someone as you embrace them is hard. We have many little hard, difficult little everyday epics. And I think that one of the offers of puppets, one of the reasons why puppets, is that puppets help to reinvent the everyday and to give an epic nature to the small things that we do.
Could it also be, because a lot of your earlier works were, as you say, subtly subversive, and when that is being told through puppetry as opposed to through actors, you can get away with a lot more.
You can get away, and that's another thing. Puppets can say things that people can't. So a child, for instance, whose father is in prison and is having to deal with the fact that he or she doesn't have a father at home, doesn't know how to talk about it, that child, through a puppet, with maybe just a sock puppet, a very simple puppet, that child can talk about that father who he or she misses in prison. We find also that children with a stutter, if they talk through a puppet, suddenly the stutter disappears. So there are many things that puppets can do that are unique to puppets and that answer the question, why puppets, really well.
Okay, we have time for very few questions, so raise your hands quickly. At the back, the green sari.
I just wanted to know, do you think it takes a special kind of artist to actually choose to be a puppeteer, given the fact that you're spending all your time inside, you're not on stage, so you really need to be special to be able to choose that kind of anonymity. What do you think?
I think you're right about that. We joke and we say puppetry is for shy actors. We have found that sometimes an actor can't relinquish their ego. And an actor's ego on the stage is vital. An actor's ego in the film is what makes their performance interesting. But with a puppet, you have to be able to let go and trust that the performance will still be alive in the object that you're bringing to life.
This is an emotional prosthesis. It's a thing like a prosthetic limb almost that you express your emotions through. And to trust that this can have life is really hard, and some actors find it difficult or impossible to do.
Yeah. I mean, we've just come from England, where we did a new production of Midsummer Night's Dream, and you have to cast the characters for people who can speak Shakespeare. It takes, and a lot of them had to work puppets as well as be actors in their own right. And it's always a challenge, the surrendering of the ego to the object. But that doesn't mean that, we always audition actors. We are always looking for the actor who can make the leap, because you can't, the ability to act is of primary importance.
I think one of the things that we start out by saying to the actors is, this is going to be painful. You are going to be uncomfortable. Just as painful as it is running 100 meters or achieving some sports event, or in fact being a ballet dancer. Quite often there's blood in a ballet dancer's pumps when she comes off a stage. Many sports at an extreme level are painful, and puppetry also is painful. It's a subjugation of your ego, and it's a subjugation of your comfort.
I've got 2 more pictures I can show you. These are almost life-size human beings that we were brought back more or less out of retirement to perform in London a couple of years ago after Warhorse opened, and they weigh a ton. And we have to keep them in the air at this high. These 2 boys have to play squash, running in the air. Basil and I had to get a personal trainer for 3 months.
They were playing squash.
Yeah. This is, this one, she's right in the Midsummer Night's Dream we're doing now in Bristol. She's quite a lot taller than life-size, and the actress is inside also reciting Shakespeare while moving this large object. So we do put people through a bit of torture.
All right, we have time for one last question. Okay, I'm going to take the privilege. You didn't answer my question that I asked in the introduction. Does your personal chemistry actually help your working equation? And it's interesting because while you were doing even this presentation, you complete each other's sentences quite sort of seamlessly, and that's quite difficult. I mean, for so many years with that. Do you have issues?
Oh, we do.
We do.
We used to have, when we started the company, everybody made puppets, everybody sent flyers to the schools, everybody looked after their accounts, everybody made tea.
And everyone got paid the same.
Yeah, and we soon discovered that we were about to kill each other in the workshop when we both were building puppets, because we had different ways of doing it. So we split. Basil is producer, and I'm designer and maker. My skills are much more in that direction. He's much more brilliant at vision for the future of the company than I am. So we've worked it out that way.
Thank you so much.